Hey everybody, today I wanted to make this video about the theory about Jeepers Creepers, okay, the movie, and the creeper, his origins and all that. So I'm going to try to make this quick. The video may go on long. There's going to be spoilers from the first movie, second movie, and third movie if you haven't seen them. So let me just get right into it and give you my theory, my take on it, and you all can leave comments. Maybe we can get a thread going on this video, and everybody can, continue to share their theories and everything. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so we know the creeper has been around for thousands of years. We know that. We know it's old. We know it has magical abilities from watching the third movie. If you look at the deleted scenes, which is where my theory stem from, the deleted scenes. If you look at the first deleted scene with Derry, when he goes down in the hole, we see that up on the wall, it has where there's a hell, there's a way. We see that. Now we see all of these all this magic stuff that's scrolled out on a table. So we know the creeper has some level of mysticism about it, because like in the third movie, we know that the van or the truck that the creeper drives is bulletproof and it's self-sufficient. So we know that there's some level of magic there. So we fast forward to the second movie, which shows us that the creeper is ancient, it's old, it's been around for thousands of years, because in the deleted scene of the second movie, we see that the girl walks into a field and she sees there's some knights with some shields. It has a face of the creeper printed in on it. So we know for a fact right there that the creeper was in Europe, where the knights and stuff were. So we know that. We know it's been in North America because we saw the Native Americans in the deleted scenes. So we know that it's ancient. Another part in the second movie that leads us to think that there's a lot of magical abilities surrounding the creeper is that his weapons, they do things. Like look in the second movie when the farmer had the knife, it shot out of his hand and went into the wall. Okay, look at the third movie where when he hit the door opened up, his spear jumps into his hand. So that means that either the spear has a mind of its own and he can control it, or he can control it with his mind. So we know that the creeper has like some level of mysticism and magic ability about him. Okay, so now I'm gonna jump into about the origins of the creeper, where we think he might have come from. Okay, so this stems from the third movie. Okay, if you haven't seen the third movie and you don't want any spoilers, just stop watching, because it's gonna be spoiler heavy from here on out. Okay, so in the third movie, the hand that the lady found when she had the vision about the hand, she got the hand and now she can see where it came from. Okay, so the leader of the creeper squadron, he touches the hand and now he sees where the creeper comes from, and whatever he saw, we know it freaked him out, because he's like a gung-ho guy. I mean, this guy's ready to kick some ass. I mean, he's ready. He's seen the creeper before, he lived to tell the story, and now he's taking it upon himself to get a squad together to hunt this thing down. So he's ready. So whatever he saw freaked him out to the point where he says, and I quote, he says, "It's not about what I saw, even if I knew what that was. It's just how much bigger it is and how much older. It's ancient." See, I've like seen the movie, and I'm like can remember exactly what he said. That's how much I love the creeper and horror movies. I'm a big horror movie person. Okay, so this is what he says. He says, "It's not about what I saw, even if I knew what that was." So we know what he saw just transcended everything he knows about his time, his reality. He seen something that just really blew his mind and freaked him out. Okay, second thing he says is how much bigger it is. So we know, I'm thinking like when he says how much bigger it is, the first thing pops in my head like, bigger? What the heck is he talking about, how much bigger it is? So, which leads me to think the creeper didn't start out as a man. It started out as something else. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that the creeper started off as a parasite. That would be too easy, because when people think like, parasite, small, that's too easy. It's going to be something a little bit better than that, according to my theory. This is just my theory. Okay, he said it's not about what I saw, even if I know what, it's how much bigger it is. So that leads me to think that the creeper started out as something small, not a man. It didn't start out looking like a man. It started out looking like something else. Not sure what that something else was, but according to my theory, the creeper it was summoned up. It's not a human, in my theory. Now I'm not saying it's not, but in my theory, the creeper wasn't a human at first. I believe it's a demonic entity that was summoned up for a particular purpose, and I believe that purpose was to invade and destroy a rival army that a warlord, wanted to get rid of. I mean, we know back in the ancient times they were always fighting about something. Even in the Greek times, even in the Bible, there were always wars. People wanted this territory, they wanted that territory, and they would do anything to get it. So I'm thinking, maybe this warlord had a Hagar. Now, if you watch Voltron, which I'm a big anime fan too, like, I'm a pretty old guy, so I was watching Voltron back in the 80s when it first came out. So when Voltron first came out, we know the king, he had a witch named Hagar. And so he would have this witch Hagar to summon up all these like demonic looking creatures to fight Voltron. So I'm thinking like this warlord, he had a Hagar, he had a witch, and this witch summoned up some kind of demonic creature to sneak across enemy lines and maim and kill his enemies. This is why this guy got so powerful, okay? And he could only do it every 23rd spring, of course, according to the movie, we got to go with that. He can only summon this creature, well, she can only summon this demonic creature every 23rd spring, and it can only survive for 23 days. But this is like the tricky part, which we got to figure out, how did the creeper get to where he is now, if they had control over him. So at some point, just theory, my story, at some point the creeper revolted from the witch and the warlord. So at some point he revolted and he broke free of their hold. Okay, so like, well, how did he break free? Okay, then another theory of mine on how he could have broken free, according to my story, my creeper universe, it can last 23 days. But here's the kicker. If it lasts 23 days, if it's eating so much in those 23 days, that means that that creeper is growing. I'm thinking it looked like a worm. It looked like maybe like some kind of worm. If you've seen Star Trek II, the Wrath of Khan, seen these little worms that they were putting in the ears of I think Sulu had one in his ear, and the black guy Paul Winfield, that was played by Paul Winfield, he had a worm in his ear. So I'm thinking like the creeper looked like that at first, but it was bigger, maybe like the size of my arm. It was like some big worm. If you've seen the first Wishmaster back in, like, I think it was 1997, the first Wishmaster came out, and when the Wishmaster, the Jinn, that's what they call it. The movie was called Wishmaster, but the thing was called the Jinn. When the Jinn was first released from that stone, it looked like a big nasty worm. Okay, I'm thinking the creeper looks similar to that. If you haven't seen Wishmaster and you want to kind of explore what I'm talking about, go and watch Wishmaster, the first one, and you'll see when it get released from that stone, it looked like some big giant nasty worm. So I'm thinking the creeper looked like that, but it can move a lot faster, and it would go and it would smell people, and it would eat certain parts of that person. And when it eat parts of that person, it would start to gain limbs. It would start to think on its own, because if you think about it, if the creeper is eating people, he's gaining knowledge from that person, right? So we know he's gaining like different knowledge and different stuff like that. Okay, so if let's say, like, just for the sake of the story, if it lives the whole 23 days, that means it's had 23 days of full growth. It's absorbed everything for 23 days. And so the reason that they have to banish it before the 23 days is because the 23 days is the period that it can fully grow, and then before it grows back into the earth or wherever it goes, and then when it comes back, it's like it still has what it gained from the 23 days, unless it's banished. So I'm thinking like the witch and the warlord would let this thing free for like maybe 20 days, 18 days, 20 days, but they couldn't let it go the full gestation period because it would revolt. So I'm thinking like 23 days. So think about it, 23 years, 23 springs. You know, if you go through 3 of those, that's 69 years. So let's say like this king or warlord, he's got to die at some point. You can't cheat death if you're a human. You just can't do it. Even with magic, you can't cheat death. So this warlord eventually dies, and maybe his son takes over, and his son is like just like this guy that's just power hungry. And instead of him just conquering a little bit every 23 years, just enough to get him to the next 23 years to summon the creature back up to do his bidding, maybe he lets it roam the whole 23 days to wreak havoc. And the witch is telling him, say, look, you cannot let this thing last the whole 23 days, because if you do, it's so powerful that it cannot be destroyed. So you cannot let it last the whole entire 23 days. He said, I don't care. I want to conquer this land. It's only going to take an extra day for me to conquer the land on the other side of the mountain or something. So he takes that extra day to do that. And when he does that, not only does the creeper go and conquer the army on the other side of the mountain, it has grown so big to this point, it's a full-size man. It wants to eat everyone on this side, and it goes back to where it came from and eventually kills the son of the king that was responsible, kills the son, kills the witch. This is how the creeper probably gains his magical ability, because it ate the witch, and now it has her abilities to know magic and mystical stuff. So now we look at the creeper. He has the magic ability to have his weapons do this. Maybe he ate a blacksmith or something, and now he knows how to make all these weapons. He ate the witch, so now he knows how to put magic into the weapons. Okay, I had another theory about the creeper's wings. So we know that every time the creeper gets destroyed in some shape, form, or fashion, from the first movie, second movie, well, they didn't show too much of this in the third movie, but we know when he got destroyed in the first movie, his wings were able to come back. In the second movie, we saw his wings get destroyed. They were able to come back. So maybe, just in theory, we talking about, movie stuff here. Anything can happen. All cards on the table. Maybe back in the day in Europe somewhere, the creeper ate a vampire. Let's say like vampires existed way back after he done lived like 4 or 5 23-year periods. Now he's in Transylvania, he's in Europe, and he eats a vampire. So this is how he gets the wings. So maybe this vampire had wings. If you've seen the movie Van Helsing, in that movie, that Dracula character, he had like these big wings. If you watch Underworld, Marcus, the vampire in that movie, he had these big wings. So maybe the creeper along the way ate a vampire and he gained the wings, which is why they're able to grow back, because we all know vampires are immortal, and maybe that immortal blood got into the creeper, and that's why the wings are able to grow back. Because we think about it, that's the one part of the creeper that he's able to grow back without eating, without having to eat. Everything is his head. If he uses his head, he can eat the head. Probably eat it with some part of his body. If he loses an arm, he can eat an arm and gain his arm back. But if he loses his wings, which we've seen that before, how does he get the wings back? So the way he gets the wings back is maybe along the way he ate some vampire, and now he's able to get these immortal wings back. And we all know that the creeper can fly really fast, which is why he's transcended time and the land. Now he's in North America, wreaking havoc in North America. Every 23 years he goes to a certain place. He hides for those 23 years. Maybe he goes back into the ground. Who knows where he goes? The hand that he keeps, I don't know the significance of that. I had some theories about the significance of the hand. Where did that come from? Maybe it's the witch's hand. Maybe he kept it. Who knows what the hand has to do with anything? I don't know. Maybe it's the first hand he ever formed and he kept it, you know, for like a little keepsake. Who knows? But anyway, we know he's been through millions of hands. He's been through millions of feet. So maybe he kept the first one he ever had. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's my theory on the creeper. If you guys have some more thoughts on what you think the creeper is, leave some comments in the section. Maybe we can, you know, make a big thread out of it. And when the fourth movie comes out and they decide to give us the creeper's origins, let's see what they come up with. Let's see if their ideas are better than ours. You know, we'll see. But this is like a video, you know, made by a horror fan for horror fans. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. Leave some comments, leave some questions, and let me know what you guys think. All right.